When I was little, my dad was like my hero. I would come home and I would try to like play games or something with him, but he really wasn't ever wanting to do that. And that was hard for me because you're trying to get your dad's acceptance. So if I can't get my dad's acceptance, who's going to accept me? It was really hard for me to see him put his hands on my mom, but then also put his hands on me. And I remember at that point realizing that the hero that I thought he was more of like this monster, even though I know he couldn't help it. People that struggle with mental illness, I struggle with anxiety myself. It changes you. Depression, it changes you. I think that the divorce, even though I tried to pretend like everything was always okay, it wasn't in my heart. So I had to do something. So that's why I had dance. And so I was always trying to grasp attention in different places, and whether that be making swipes on Tinder that I don't need to. You always want to have a boyfriend or someone to tell you like the things that your father never told you, like someone to tell you that they're proud of you. And that got me into a lot of trouble. I definitely adapted to a lot of the traits that my father has, and I was trying to party and drink. I remember New Year's Eve was probably mentally the lowest that I felt. I had this really bad anxiety attack because I drank so much. I was crying so much. I couldn't even control myself. I was like, I didn't want to do this. I don't want to drink. What? I'm trying to be a better person. I'm trying to not do these things. And then after that moment, it just started getting worse and worse and worse. There were times where, I struggled with mental illness and wanting to hurt myself because I didn't like myself at all. It was hard for me to understand why I just couldn't have a moment to breathe. I went to Seacoast with my father probably for about 2 years in high school, so I was very much apprehensive about coming here again because I was like, I don't want to see him, I don't want to go. But then I found out about the Dream Sitter in North Charleston, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and go. I went there and I was sitting in the church, and I remember hearing the musicians singing Who I Am. It stuck to me a little bit because it says, you're a child of God. And I was like, interesting. And Pastor Darren Patrick was leading the message that weekend. And I remember him talking about mental illness and also how God's grace and love is abundant.
If you will, as a person that deals with anxiety, meditate on the sovereignty of God, that God is in control, that God knows the future, that God knows your past and your present, and He's with you and for you. And what's happening to you is actually happening for you. He's at work. He's not surprised. And He's not only in control, He's good.
And all of a sudden, it just felt like my soul was cleansed, like in that moment. And I realized, I was like, God's love is unconditional. Whoa, okay. Because I'd never gotten that before. In church, it was always like, are you following the rules? If you're not following the rules, then I don't know if you're really a Christian. So for me, hearing that, I felt like He was literally coming to me and being like, yes, I found you after like 10 plus years of you just wandering, and now I'm here. I had this realization moment that like, you know what? It doesn't matter what everybody thinks of you. It doesn't matter my past. It doesn't matter the mistakes that I'm going to make in the future. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. Realizing that God is a God of love, it was the most empowering moment of my life. I was always searching to be accepted, but the moment that I found Jesus, I was already accepted. I do get anxious from time to time, but now I can give my anxiety to Him rather than holding it all on myself.